Good afternoon. It's a very sunny day here, and I'm just coming back from service. My camera may not be very clear to you, but at least you're seeing me, and we are here to discuss issues that pertain to us. There are basically things that I want to touch on, very important. I want us to start from the recent UN decision ordering Nigeria to release Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally. That's a good one. Thank you, Oscar Ibano. God bless you. Amechieze. God bless you. That's a good one, but don't be carried away. First of all, for UN to indict the Nigeria and the Kenyan government for abducting Nnamdi Kanu, giving him inhuman treatment, and requesting that reparations should be made to him, and then all those officials involved in his abduction should be investigated and dealt with, shows that Nnamdi Kanu has been truthful all this while. Those of us who follow him, we are not making mistakes. We are right after all. We are right after all, and we are saying it, that the whole world has realized that Nnamdi Kanu's arrest, abduction, and extraordinary rendition is an illegality. Thank God for that, but don't be carried away. I'm coming. You know, we're always one step ahead of these guys. No matter what you or they think they know, we Biafrans are always one step ahead of them. These people did not do this thing just for doing sake or for courtesy or maybe for truth. They are doing it because they are being held by their boss right now. And they are trying to prepare the ground for their next line of action. So, I want you to understand this, that by ordering the immediate unconditional release of Nnamdi Kanu shows that the Biafran struggle is true, is sincere, is straightforward. It has no violence, nothing. Regardless of all the stupid reportage by the Nigerian press, college channels, NTA, Arise News, BBC News or TVC News or whatever, and their papers, their media, both electronic and print media, they have been telling lies. And now the UN has indicted two nations and all their leaders for violating somebody's rights and illegally arresting somebody, taking the laws into their hands. And these two nations are signatories to this international United Nations Convention that illegal rendition of person is a crime. Because if Nnamdi Kanu was to be extradited, there should have been proceedings in the court of law. He should have been served notice. He should have raised his own lawyers. He should have gone there to defend himself, and when he's found guilty, they officially bring him to Nigeria. No. They illegally abducted him. It's a big blow to them, and thank God. Now, there's something I want Biafrans to know. Listen, let me take your mind back a little bit. I don't want to go into long history from 1960. We all know that the Fulanis had this relationship with the British colonial masters, business relationship for a long time. Now the Fulanis were standing as their slaves to carry out their bidding. And then the Fulanis were to subjugate the conquered territories that Britain has conquered so that they will milk from them and supply to Britain. That was basically the whole arrangement. The Fulanis were the only people who can carry out such activity of subduing the people that own the resources, kill them, as long as those resources is targeted in benefiting the British people. The Fulanis never bring anything on the table for development. They're only there to plunder, and in plundering they kill. And that is the only way the British can have it. Because if the British were to meet people who were sensible and could think like them, it wasn't going to work that way. So let's forget about that one. Now let's look at the new, what's happening recently. Let me do a little prophetical history. In 1986, there was a prophecy that God was going to destabilize Russia. Because before then, Russia operated a closed economy where nothing went out, nothing came in. You understand me? So, when the time came for that thing to happen, there was a nuclear leakage in Chernobyl, one of the nuclear plants in Russia. That nuclear leakage poured out radioactive materials into the atmosphere that destroyed massive grain reserves that the Russians had. And all the plants that were planted in the steppes of Russia, a lot of them died because of radioactive activities. Now, Russia, by reason of radioactive pollution that has affected their grains, even certain parts of India, Russia now, who had money, who had enough to take care of their people, were forced to look for food from America that happened to be the people that were giving the greatest supply of grain to the whole world. Now, what was the reason why that prophecy was given? Before then, there was this arms race between Russia and America. Remember the years of the Cold War. Now, Russia was increasing her firepower, building more nuclear arsenals than America. You know, they had so many treaties. They call the SALT I and SALT II Treaty, SALT, the Strategic Arms Limitation Treaty, which they did the first one and second one. Russia didn't honor it. They went ahead mass producing nuclear weapons. So America had to hold another meeting with them called the MAD, Mutual Agreement for Destruction. They call it MAD. Mutual Agreement of Destruction. That is MAD. But while that was going on, as America was trying to stockpile and Russia was out stockpiling them, America raised up an initiative called the Strategic Defense Initiative, the SDI project. As of that time, it costed about $20 billion to run. Even at American standard, that project was very ambitious and very expensive. And what was the reason? Because Russia was fast out producing America in nuclear weapons. America launched the Strategic Defense Initiative, whereby per any nuclear thermonuclear exchange from Russia, it was the Star Wars project. The American Strategic Defense Initiative will intercept that bomb in the atmosphere and demobilize it so that it will not affect America. They call that the Strategic Defense Initiative, SDI. It was the Star Wars. That was the height of it. So since Russia realized that America had built up the Strategic Defense Initiative, they were to produce nuclear bombs that had more firepower. That was the thing. So, but then the sin of Russia then was this. Russia did not allow the preaching of the gospel to enter into their country. So in 1986, there was a prophecy that God was going to go into Russia and bring it down so that people can come in. So they closed the economy that Russia had, that nothing went out and nothing went in. Not that they were poor, they were doing very fine. But because of that nuclear disaster in the Chernobyl, the grain reserves that the Russians had were polluted by radioactive materials. And what did Russia do? The only hope of them eating was to go down to America, who has enough grain to supply and feed Russia. That was why in those days you saw Russians on the street, online. They were giving them bread to eat. So America gave Russia a condition that if you am going to give you grain, you are going to work by my dictates. And the dictate was this, that you have to drop your nuclear pursuit. Russia was already in trouble. And then the promotion of so many breakaway republics, because of hunger, there was no food. Things were going wrong. So the Western nations planned, and Russia had breakaway republics. You had Chechnya, they went away, Herzegovina, Latvia, Uzbekistan, Donetsk, Ukraine, they began to go. And the Warsaw Pact, which was a counter initiative to North Atlantic Trade Organization, NATO alliance, collapsed because Russia couldn't help herself. Countries like Seychelles, Poland, they left. And the Warsaw Pact collapsed. So the only one that remained was the NATO and being led by America. That was when America became the sole superpower in the whole world. That's what happened. So America gave Russia conditions by which they could give them grain. In that process, God raised a man called Mikhail Gorbachev, who became the president of Russia. He introduced the two principles of glasnost and perestroika, openness and, I think, reconstruction, something like that. Glasnost and perestroika. Now, it was in the time of Mikhail Gorbachev that the Russian republics, Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, collapsed. And so many countries went their own. People like Czechoslovakia, all those other, Kazakhstan, they left. And then before Ukraine came out, this Ukraine turned out to be the country that was larger than Russia itself, because what we had before was Soviet Union, Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. So Ukraine was so strong within the USSR that Russia was not as strong as Ukraine in time, because two of their serious nuclear power plants were located in Ukraine, and Ukraine was highly developed. Do you understand me? So now that put Russia in a tight corner. So America became unofficially the only superpower in the whole world. And now Russia was looking for a way by which they can counter the strength of America. But a problem arose. Inside Ukraine, they were treating a particular group badly. So those people began to complain. Meanwhile, what's his name? A Russian with the president of Ukraine, whereby Ukraine gave Russia access into their land. And that made Russia to have at least a base where they can link up with Ukraine to fight the whole world. So they began to see those areas that Ukraine were maltreating as Russian territory. So they were looking for the slightest excuse to invade Ukraine, and it happened. The invasion of Ukraine is a planned mathematical program carried out by Putin, by the Russian people. And the West knew about this. Just like they are maltreating Biafrans, they kept quiet. So Russia saw the opportunity in a bid to say they are going to defend these people who are their people, because the people said they no longer belong to Ukraine again. Russia came in, and at coming in, they defended those people and invaded Ukraine. So the Western nations now started fighting Russia. And what did they do? They imposed economic sanctions. At the early stage, it was very, very effective. Remember, when they had these Star Wars and Russia collapsed, the Soviet Union collapsed, for them to survive, they came to America for help. And America told them, if I'm going to help you to give you grains, this is the condition you meet. So Russia became the bedmate of America. Russia became the woman, America became the man. But now, the reverse, there's what you call reverse mathematical engineering or political calculus. Look at what happened. Right now, Russia has invaded Ukraine. The European nations have gotten up to fight against Russia. They are unable to take Russia away from Ukraine because Russia has a program. So first of all, they imposed very stringent economic sanctions. You know what Russia did? They said, okay, this is the time to play ball. 40% of gas supplies that is needed by Europe is supplied by Russia directly. And winter is fast approaching. Remember, winter is fast approaching. And Russia, first of all, told Europeans, not the Americans, told Europeans, okay, this is my turn to play ball. If you want me to supply you my gas, since you have imposed sanctions against me, you are going to buy my gas and pay in rubles, not in dollars. Automatically, the value of the Russian currency shot up. At shooting up, they began to form alliance with other nations, how they can raise an alternative currency to the dollar so that nobody could be held to ransom by the American currency and euro. Do you understand me? That's what they did. So most European nations they were forced now to buy Russian gas paying in rubles. That raised up the value of the Russian currency within that area. That's number one. So that gave Russia stability economically because their currency had value. So the effect of the sanctions were very light. They were not as strong as they expected it to be. Rather, it gave Russia an advantage to re-engineer the economic program and re-energize it. That's why Russia is doing fine. Then number two, another problem came up. Two of the turbines that supply gas to Europe, the largest pipelines that supply gas to Europe, comes from Russia. And both are owned by Russia. And Russia declared the other day that one of them is undergoing maintenance. Now Russia said, okay, we are going to reduce gas by 15% because the two are not working. So if one is working, then we are going to reduce gas supplies to Europe by 15%. Now, if that happens, Europe depends solely on Russia so much for their gas. That means the winter that is going to come will kill a lot of Europeans, their elderly people, their women and their children. Europe is saying that Russia is trying to blackmail them into being their bedmates. The way Russia was made a bedmate to America that was sleeping with her, you know what I mean? Not Kanu sleeping. Made Russia his wife. Russia now wants to make the whole of Europe his concubines. And he's telling them, this is the condition. If you're going to buy my gas, you pay in rubles. Number two, these turbines, one of them is not good. Both of them are not good. We're trying to fix one. And when we fix one, that one can only give you are going to have 15% reduction of gas in Europe, even though you are buying in rubles. This time it is no longer paying much money. It is the availability of the resources. That is a gradual economic strangulation of Europe. Because once there is cold during winter and there is no gas, many Europeans will die. You put the whole nation in disarray. So the Europeans are afraid. I'm coming as to why the UN is giving reason why Nnamdi Kanu should be released unconditionally. Because every time we're one step ahead of them, we know what they are thinking ahead of time. Once they send we know the next, we don't make that mistakes again. So when you are jubilating about what's going to happen, whoa, Europe has said they will leave, UN has said they should leave Nnamdi Kanu. Yes, it's good, but remain focused. Don't be carried away. Watch these proceedings analytically. Don't be carried away. Stand on what you are saying. We started with Biafra, we shall end with the Biafran struggle and get it. Nothing, no matter what they dangle before you, don't make that mistake. Read in between the lines. Read the handwriting on the wall. So what is happening now? Because Europe is in danger. Europe decided that they are going to cut their use of gas by 15% during this hot weather, so as to preserve that quantity of gas that might not be available should that turbine, the pipeline that the Russians are having, should one of them not function. So that it will look as if they never had the problem. So they have to massively buy and reserve. And then for the Europeans, the amount of gas you normally use every day, you have to scale down. So Russia is dictating to Europe, this is the quantity of gas you use per day in your different apartments and rooms and houses. Are you seeing the calculus of Russia? And Europe looked at it and said, okay, what are we going to do? Number two, having seen Russia over the years that they could be treacherous. One, the ruble issue. Number two, this 15% gas issue. Europeans are no longer sure that Russians may continue supplying them gas. That Russia might, at the dying minute during winter, cut off gas supplies. And when that happens, Europe will collapse. So they begin to plan ahead of time. And where else will they get gas easily? Nigeria. That is why Europe is turning her attention from Russia to begin to look into Nigeria to get gas. But there's a problem. The agitation for Biafra actualization has risen to a very high crescendo that what they hitherto ignored, they are forced to look into it and make comments. Why? Because this gas they are looking for is found within the region of the Biafran state, the Biafran land. And they know the Biafrans are so resolved and committed to the Biafran cause that those pipelines will never give them gas. If it becomes expedient, the Biafrans are going to blow every gas pipeline. You won't get any gas. Do you understand? They are calculating. They know this is what these people are planning. So what did they do? They now said, okay, since they have been ignoring Nnamdi Kanu for long. They have been ignoring all the same for long. Nnamdi Kanu has been to the UN, has been to the EU, has addressed them in so many forums, spoken, talked, shouted, read. We heard him. They heard him. They refused to listen. But now that their interest is being threatened and they are saying that they will likely die during winter. I've been to Britain before. They are cold. They are only something else. They have a terrible cold. I was in Manchester when I was invited in a program to go and preach there. So that was where I was. And by church, so I experienced the cold that is in Britain. It's terrible. So what happened? They now decided, in a way, to pacify us. You see, all this thing about Obi coming into vying for presidency, they were all planned and calculated. The problem is that the Igbos, a lot of Igbos are so foolish. Any little thing they are carried away. You see, the other time it was articulate. They were jumping, and it failed. Now it is obedient. They don't want to think. It's like they have taken away their brains, and the British people know the average Igbo man very well. You see, the British man has more confidence in the Fulani man than the Igbo man. Why? If the Fulani man says, I am going to kill you, he will carry out his programs to kill you. But if an Igbo man says, I'm going to kill you, and along the line, you make availability, resources, and conditions that are favorable to him, he can change his mind and negotiate with you that he was sent to kill. So somebody that does not stand on his principle in life as a man is not worth dealing with. That is why the Bible says that a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. He can never receive anything from God. The average Igbo man is double-minded. He's not resolute. He does not stand his ground. For once in the history of Igbo people, for once, they have rallied around one person, Nnamdi Kanu, because Nnamdi Kanu consistently proved himself to be unbuyable, unbribable, and stood his ground and spoke on behalf of his people. It took him 15 years of constant teaching, lamenting, crying, wailing, weeping, praying, until it began to down in the ears of certain Igbo people that this young man is saying the truth. That's a fact. So what did they do? They said, okay, what we are going to do now is, since this political equation is no longer balanced, APC went to Yoruba, contrary to the agreement which they had based on zoning policy, that if it goes to the north, it comes to the south. So they have to share it within the geographical regions, geopolitical regions. But when it came the time that the Igbo man should be the president, the Yorubas became wise and said no. They fought very hard and they gave it to Tinubu. APC changed their program. PDP also changed their program. They gave it Atiku. And that imbalance, that political equation that is wrong, the British saw it as a threat. One, because the Igbos are resolved now to fight to the end, being led by Simon Ekpa. Since Nnamdi Kanu was rendition, Simon Ekpa is his spokesperson and he's doing his job very well. Now, when that happened, they decided to equate the balance and told Peter Obi, he was someone to come to stand down in the street. He came and they advised him, go for Labour Party. You know, Labour Party is ruling in Britain. Go for Labour Party in Nigeria. One, to give it to give the equation a balance. Number two, to give the Nigerian election some form of what do I call it? Is it legality or no? Some form of acceptability. Because if the Igbos insist they are not voting and they don't vote, and APC is south, PDP is north, if the Igbos don't vote, it is going to create a constitutional crisis. And you cannot send a governor to go and be a governor in an area where they refuse to vote. If he comes there, they will kill him. No minister will come there. No commissioner will rise from there. no member in the House of Assembly, no local government chairman, no legislator, no senator. They know that it is going to create a constitutional crisis, such that if you dare superimpose a leader on what grounds in the southeast, they deliberately refuse to vote. How are you going to say who should? Because you can only come into office in a democratic setting, being elected by the people. And since nobody elected you, anybody you send coming to you shall be stoned with stones. They'll kill him. So he may stay in Abuja and stay there. Nothing like liaison office, nothing like maybe secretary or anybody coming. The government house will be sealed. So they know this. And they know that the Igbos are resolved to fight this battle this time to win it, whatever it costs them. The mistake done in 1967 to 70 will not repeat itself now. Then we didn't have as much educated Igbos who have resources like we have now. Do you know that the history of the Nigerian war is no longer in the school curriculum? You know why? Because they don't want Igbo young men and women to really read in history what transpired. It was in Obasanjo's tenure that this history was removed from our history books. He couldn't bring it back. They removed it. I don't know whether it was meant to avoid anger, but we were killed. That's the simple truth. Part of the reasons why I tell you that I don't have regard for Obasanjo. He's an enemy to the Igbo people. And so they decided that, okay, what we're going to do now is let Obi go and enter Labour Party so as to give this new arrangement a platform whereby we can divide the Igbos, because you are giving them an opportunity. The APC looks odious to Nigerians because of the massive killings, introduction of Boko Haram into the army, Fulani herdsmen, rape, vandalization, and brutalization of people. So people are aware, because the Fulanis did not do it only in their land. They did it in Yoruba land, they did it in Igbo land. So people are avoiding them. Then PDP is a bag of corrupt people also who are also members of APC. You know, they cross carpet day and night, anywhere it will favor them. So he now said, okay, let Obi go and contest this thing. And the youths now were looking for a young man who has a story of not living big. More to that, when you ask Tinubu questions about the economy or the situation of the people, he doesn't give any answer as somebody who has a blueprint for Nigeria's development. The same thing with Atiku. So Obi seemed to be giving a little by his analyzing what happened in the past, giving statistics which is getting from either the World Bank or other financial institutions in respect to Nigeria. So they see P2B as a new messiah coming. But the thing that young people in Nigeria don't know is, one, for the second time they are being taken for a ride. That they don't sit down and think very well, take decisions in their hand and say, we want out. No. These young men are also looking for opportunity for a P2B to come in so that they will work in his government, things will be fine for them. That's number one. And what they fail to realize is that before Nigeria got deteriorated to this extent, there has been a successive execution of planned programs to destabilize this country and make it an Islamic republic for the past 150 years. It has been systematically carried out. So they have succeeded in building structures. They have succeeded in introducing it into the psyche of soldiers. They have retired many soldiers from the Nigerian army who are of the Igbo extraction, who can resist. And they are bringing in Boko Haram people. So the youths don't understand that these guys have their own agenda. You are talking of 2023. They are looking at attacking and overrunning Nigeria before 2023. It is us that know, dear friends. So we are telling you. You say, no, he's obedient. When he comes, he's going to do this. He's not going to do anything. Because these are structures that have been established for more than 150 years. Dexterously carried out. Constantly. Obi as a person cannot run the National Assembly, which is both the House of Representatives and the House of Senate. He cannot. It's evident. All the strategic, sensitive reasonable position in the army are held by Hausa Fulanis, Obi cannot remove them. If he does it, number 3, the Hausa Fulani have an agenda. Because let me tell you, the British understand that they have a pact with Hausa Fulani. Obi's running mate, if let's assume that Obi wins, after 8 years, his running mate takes over. He reverts back to the Fulani agenda. And before this power will come to Igbos again, it will take another 50 years. By then, they would have killed everybody. Because go and look at this man's antecedent in the Senate, his brother Hakim Baba Ahmed. The comments that he makes, you will understand that regardless of what Obi is talking, these guys have their agenda in their heart and they are very good at carrying it out. I will rather believe in a Fulani man giving me his word than an Igbo man giving me his word. Because the Fulani man will tell you that I will kill you and he will kill you, so I prepare. But the Igbo man will tell you I will not kill you. But he can go behind, even though he will not kill you, negotiate with your killers, collect money to kill you, his hands are clean. Simple. That's simple truth. And so the Hausa Fulani man has realized that as long as money is concerned, you can even sell your father or your mother. Just like the Yoruba man is also very, very treacherous. When you sit down and discuss with him and have an arrangement, at the point where you think he's working with you, he'll back out from you and you become the devil and he will join the other man and they will kill you and bury you so that he can work with that man. So the British know people that have standards. The Fulanis have standards in terms of carrying out their program. And their program is so much. Somebody said no audio. Oh, excuse me, let me check. No, there's audio here. There's audio, brother. Just a minute, let me check. I've lifted up the audio, so the thing has resumed, sorry. So, the Fulanis know very well that they have to carry out a program being guided by their religion. And the religion tells them that the only way you can rule the whole world is by fighting a war and killing your enemies, subjecting them to run according to your dictates. The Christian faith does not teach that. The Christian faith is by persuasion. So, since the British man understands that the Fulani man is very good in carrying out his agenda and is not interested, as long as you give him that power, he keeps milking, he can give British his own so that Britain will support him to subdue you forever. So the plan of 2023 will not come to pass, the election, because the Fulani knows that they have their own program for 2023. To see that Nigeria is leveled, they take over by force. So they decided now to go and release Nnamdi Kanu. They went to the UN. So that the Igbos, first of all, Obi was a distraction. That's number 1. Just like Zik was a distraction to Ojukwu. When he was supposed to have stood for Biafra, Zik was being a Pan-Africanist. Awolowo was standing for the Yorubas, and you can see how it has blessed Yorubas today. This man, Ahmadu Bello, was standing for the Northerners. You can see how he blessed them today. But Zik was Pan-African, and you can see how we are being punished today. So he refused to stand with Ojukwu where he needed him most. Even when that atrocious program was carried out, that hunger is a legitimate weapon of war, whereby our flanks were cut off, our children died of starvation and kwashiorkor. Zik saw it. He was alive for many years. He didn't do anything to stop it. He did not pull strings diplomatically to stop it, that food must come to the east, to the Biafrans. He didn't. Because he was one Nigeria. Just like Obi is one Nigeria. They are killing Biafrans. 14 young men were killed last week. No comment. Somebody was saying, if Obi makes any comment, what difference is he going to make? Shame on you. Kwankwaso told Jonathan, when some Boko Haram members were caught, say, if anything happens to any of those Boko Haram members, I tell you the truth, nobody of the eastern origin in Kanu State that will survive it. And Jonathan stopped. You people don't have sense. People keep abusing us. But we tell you the truth. We tell you the truth because we'll get Biafra for you. Whether you like it or not, we'll get it. And when we get it, it is people like you that come and say, it is my right. I'm a Biafran. I need this position. I need to contest election. I have a mind to say this and that. But when we were fighting, you were against us. We were not even interested in coming into leadership tomorrow in Biafra. We have other things to do. We are fighting for you and for us and our future, our generation. We don't hate the Muslims. We are saying that they should leave us alone. We don't want to stay again in Nigeria. So that we can build our country. You can be a leader and make your own contribution. Yet you are hell-bent on being tied on your neck by the Hausa Fulanis to be pulled about. It's what you love. And you say Obi will come and release you, free you. God is not an author of confusion. So Obi is a distraction. Second distraction that is coming. The unconditional release of Nnamdi Kanu as instructed or commanded by UN is to douse down the effort of the Biafran agitation. So that when you see it, some people come out and say, don't you know, it is because of Obi's influence. Therefore, Britain has spoken. So that is why we are telling you that through Obi, Nnamdi Kanu can be released. That's one way to distract you. With or without Obi, we shall get Biafra. The Lord God has taken us to this level. We cannot start in the spirit and end in the flesh. We can't perfect in the flesh. God who gave us this thing from the time Nnamdi Kanu was just alone, till he being able to build a massive army. No one single person commands that respect in the whole world today. Which Simon Ekpa is continuing faithfully. Bringing the various factions that were divided together to come under one umbrella so that we can fight a common battle. This is the second distraction. As they are bringing it down, some of you go and say, UN, God bless you. May you people live forever. May God give you, some of you are so stupid. You just keep talking. You don't even think. Don't sit down and analyze. Remain focused. Don't be carried away. Nnamdi Kanu must be released unconditionally. We are not begging them. They have to release him or they will release him. We are coming in a situation where holding Nnamdi Kanu in detention is becoming more expensive for Nigeria than releasing him. So the best thing they have to do is to release him because their credibility is at stake. For UN to say it, that indictment, they are signatories to that convention. So they can't go to court against it. If they go, the case will be against them. Everywhere when Nnamdi Kanu's case has been taken to court, the government has failed. Remember that of Umaya by Jimako? Nnamdi Kanu, they told them to pay Nnamdi Kanu 1 billion naira for damages. That it was an illegal operation against him. Okay? So, what next? By saying releasing Nnamdi Kanu, you take away the attention of the Biafrans, make them to be soft. I say, Mbamba, let's just take it easy. Somehow, we are going to make it. No, it's not. Remain steadfast and resolute. Let your face be hardened and strong. Fight what you believe in. When you continue, they'll know you're serious. And when they give it to you, they give it to you. If Britain and Europe is trying to negotiate how to get oil to supply their land so that they don't die of cold tomorrow, let's get our Biafra first. They can't negotiate with us now, no, until Biafra comes. And we are not going to negotiate at their own terms. We shall negotiate at our own terms. Like Russia is negotiating today. You want my gas? You pay rubles. You want our oil? You may likely have to pay in the Biafran currency. Cash. You understand me? You feel me? Because the point is, the white people only do things that will favor them. Once it concerns the black man, remember, Harold Wilson of Britain in 1964 says that he does not care if they kill 500,000 Igbos, Biafrans. As long as they are killing, will make sure that there is food on the tables of British people. So you don't matter. Those of you that are supporting Peter Obi, whom turned down in street of advice, you are so foolish. You don't read, you don't go to history. I'm not saying I'm not educated though. A lot of you are. Somebody wrote something, said, what can we do to bring back common sense in people? I wrote back to her and said, you cannot bring back common sense. Common sense only resides inside those who have value for him. And that is true. So if you don't have value for common sense, it cannot reside in you. Most of you that are educated don't have common sense. I went to a church this morning. That's not the church where I worship. I just sauntered in. Let me see what's going on. It's a Yoruba church. They preach very well the word of God. When time came for praying, they said they are going to pray every evil hand against Nigeria that that to destabilize Nigeria, you should let Holy Ghost fire. I was asking, which hand is evil? You know, when you talk about somebody that's against Nigeria, there are two people that are against Nigeria. There are those that are against Nigeria for evil. There are those that are against Nigeria for good. If a Biafran man is saying, I'm against Nigeria because they're killing my people, I want to be free so that I can live my life, that is being against Nigeria for good. The man who is sending people to go and rape women, bomb churches, destroy people, force them into their religion, take them away, he's the one that's against Nigeria for evil. The time has come when you are talking in the church, explain things very well. If you don't understand, go and read the Hebrew meaning of evil. And then you begin to break it down to explain. If you just take it generally, you make a mistake. What about this story of last week or two that Kanu is missing from DSS by his lawyer? Oh, remember, 2 weeks ago or so, I raised an alarm. I told you that the bombing of Kuje prison is a prelude to the bombing of DSS facilities where they might kick Nnamdi Kanu. I raised the alarm. I was shouting. I didn't want to behave like a madman. Because if I start shouting, people say I'm mad. I said, be careful. I just finished saying that thing 2 weeks ago, and what we are hearing now is that Nnamdi Kanu was not longer in the DSS prison. He's missing. I shouted this thing when Kuje prison was attacked. I came out on Facebook. I said, listen, oh, this is what is going on. They attacked Buhari's convoy. They will say it is Boko Haram. They couldn't do anything. They attacked Kuje prison. They will say it's Boko Haram. They couldn't do anything. So if they come to DSS, it's the same thing they will say. But they have planned for them to take this man away and kill him. But that's not going to happen. Because, let me tell you, that will be touching a very, 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 very wrong spot in the life of an Igbo man, especially a Biafran. Let me tell you something. There are more than 1,000 Simon helpers around. I have seen them. They are very angry. They are even saying that Simon Helper is a good guy. He tries to explain. They have told me personally that if it were them, they would have started eliminating most of DOS leaders. That this thing Simon Helper is saying, go after Bibago. They were telling me, I said, some of them called me on phone, said, this is why. I told them, wait, leave it. Let's follow Simon Helper. God is using him. They are saying that if it is them, once any man is killed, look for any politician around, go and kill him immediately, burn down his house, kill his children. That's what they are saying. You don't know? There are many 1,000 Simon Helpers that are very, very angry. They are living with rage. They live in Europe, they live in America, they live in Africa. They are very, very angry, if you don't know. So don't make the mistake of touching mass. It is us who are even talking. We are talking. There are people who don't talk. They are so angry that we don't even near them in the way they want to execute their own, if that thing falls on their hands. So be very careful. Be very careful. You don't provoke these people. They are very, 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 very angry. They have resources. They're waiting for the right time. And when they are going to strike, it will be a collateral damage. Collateral. Boko Haram will be a child's play. Somalia will be a child's play. Rwanda will be a joke. The people who I have heard, even people told me about certain people, what they are saying. So don't make the mistake of touching Nnamdi Kanu. You'll be stretching it too far. So this time now they are saying that Nnamdi Kanu should be released unconditionally. It's a distraction to soften the agitation in the minds of the Igbos. So they say, okay, since he's been released, why don't you take the political option? Because I know they want to release him and give him some condition. UN said no condition. Don't discuss anything with him. Just go to the prison, let him go. And if Nnamdi Kanu goes, like we have told you, we are going to take him to a hospital in overseas, the hospital of our choice, where he will stay and they will give him treatment. For 1 whole month, he will relax. He will have love around him, people that love him every day, every moment of the day, even when he's sleeping in the night. In his word, he will know we are there. He will feel that joy, because this young man said he will sacrifice anything to get Biafra, including his parents, and he sacrificed them. So we want to show Nnamdi Kanu that we love him. We are his parents too. As he loves us, so we love him too. So we are going to bring him to the hospital where we take care of him. It is after 1 month of Nnamdi Kanu's being taken care of, then he will tell us what to do. If he says one Nigeria, will follow him. If he says no, it's Biafra, then we're going to follow our leader. It's a simple truth. There's nothing you can do about it. But for you to release Nnamdi Kanu and take him to your own hospital, no, we don't agree. It's our son. We'll take him. We'll contribute money, put him in a good hospital, no matter how expensive it is. They'll take care of him, we'll watch over him for 1 whole month, even 2 months, as he decides and relax until he comes back himself fully. So this UN thing is a distraction. Number 3, let me tell you why the UN thing is a distraction. I say while, not why. While it is a distraction. The Nigerian government shouted the other day and cried that they are running out of space. 63,000 Boko Haram members who have repented are joining the army. They need space. So what is the plan? Remember, they had imported the people from the Sahara Desert into Nigeria. You saw them in Dangote truck coming in large quantity, taking strategic places in our forests. The intention is not for 2023, it's for before 2023. So while you are there clapping your hand at Obi, you hear the following day that they have taken over the government, leveled everything. I wonder what will your clap and where will your PVC go? You don't have any army. It is us who are preparing people's minds. You are not prepared for it. The nation as Igbos, you say, well, no melano kai die kai lekoni hage. Let's just continue kudodi. You remain in bondage forever. That is one angle of that program which they are carrying out. Then number 2, when those 63,000 Boko Haram members are absorbed into the army, where do you think they will send them? To north? No, they're sending them to the east. That's what they're going to prove themselves. So as you are still planning your PVC, they're planning to kill you. They are not hiding it. They're making their plans known. The other day, a Muslim man came out on Facebook and said that they will never submit to the Igbos, that they are minorities, that they in the north, the majority, they can, how can you, that politics is based on numbers, demographics. So how can he give you the president when he's the majority? It's not going to work. I hope Peter Obi is listening and others. That is why I look at Peter Obi and say, oh, why did you allow the devil to send you at this time to be a distraction to the Biafran cause? What has happened so far in the world is the consistency of Nnamdi Kanu and Simon Ekpa leading the autopilot. Because in Nnamdi Kanu's time, it was just him alone. All his assistants were evil people, all of them, whether men or women, they're all evil. Except those that chose to leave them. Or they expelled, like Madame Arewa, that they expelled from the US. We have discovered that most of them were evil people. So Nnamdi Kanu was alone. But in Simon Ekpa's time, he's not alone. And all these people, they are not DOS members. Simon Ekpa has people that are backing him up fully. So it's not alone, it's not running alone. And we are fighting this battle. He has been able to do analysis to the extent that the international community has been forced to recognize that the Biafrans have something very important on the table. They must listen to them. Remember his discussion with the Finnish government. And he said he sent a letter to the International Criminal Court. So all he has been doing has been paying. It is not because Peter Obi came. No. These are consistent programs that have taken place from one step to the other as Simon Ekpa was doing it, until everybody now sees that these people are evil. And then out of the blues came Peter Obi. He went and liaised with the same people who are killing us. And some very stupid, I don't blame other Nigerian youths. Every Igbo youth that's supporting Obi, you are an idiot of the lowest standard. Imagine here. This was how they argued with Moses. As they were leaving Egypt, said, no, we don't want to leave Egypt. We'd rather stay there. We are comfortable there. None of those wicked men entered the promised land. That was how when Jesus came to preach the gospel, the Jews rose against him, sold him into the hands of the Romans, and they killed him. That's where you people belong. If up till now your eyes are not open to the fact that God has used Nnamdi Kanu so much, it brought him up at this time. It is rare in the history of a nation to see such person. Excuse me. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. I had to. Yeah. It is rare in the history of the world. You see persons like Nnamdi Kanu coming up. Because they come up. I was telling a friend who I was going to work with the other day. We were driving in my car. And I told him, I said, there are two types of men on earth. He's an Igbo man. He believes in P2B as the only alternative. I told him, no. We don't belong to Nigeria. We believe in Biafra. He said, I should choose which one. Is it P2B or Atiku or Jagaban? I said, none of them. I don't believe in Nigeria. I believe in Biafra. I want out. That Yorubas can continue with the Northerners. That's fine. Even though they have declared to do one passport and currency, I don't really trust them. Because you know what happened between Ojukwu and Awolowo. Until when they make their own, if they want to fight, they can fight. We are not going to team up with Yoruba as a body to fight Nigeria. No. But the point is, when the trouble comes, Yoruba will stand on their own against Nigeria. The Middle Belt will stand on their own against Nigeria. We stand on our own. Because don't depend on anybody. Don't trust anybody. Never you dare try it. But you can walk. If they're doing, they're doing. Fine. Nobody will allow these people to come and invade us again. So I told him, I said, there are two men on earth. There's a normal man that comes on earth. He's born. He grows up, goes to school. He makes money. And takes care of his family. He takes care of his father and his mother. Help his brothers and sisters. Build houses. Employ people. Help those he can. That's nice. He's a normal person. But there's the other kind of person. When he comes, his vision is not for his family. It's for the whole world. It's for generations unborn. That is the kind of person. That's the category Nnamdi Kanu falls. And those of us that follow him, that's the category we fall in. That's where Simon Ekpa is. Those people are very rare to find. They may not have money, but they have vision. Even at their poverty, at my lowest level, in Nigeria, I was mingling with those who were high and mighty. How much more now? I mean, at my lowest level. Because I was not even bringing myself for them to know me. They were coming to me. Because I didn't know, there are certain things I didn't know I had until recently I began to read this Biafran struggle. So those people who go to army, they get some rank and they continue, they promoted, and they are promoted, they come home, they build house, they respect them, they eat. That is their level. They help one or two persons. That's their level. It's good. We wish them well. But there are those who come to put down their life for generations unborn, like Martin Luther King Jr. That's the category Nnamdi Kanu falls. No Nigerian politician falls within that category. No single one. From the day independence was made, no single one. The person who came a little close to it, and it was for his people, was Obafemi Awolowo. Yet, you know about the Dell Estates Limited, the Jolly Estates Limited. That Awolowo said it's not his, but they said Dell is Awolowo, Awolowo is Dell. You remember the Jolly Estates. So, one thing I want you to know, this distraction should not make you start talking, praising and relax. We must keep fighting. We said that we want out of Biafra. The Fulanis are programming to start attacking by November this year to destroy and destabilize the country and take over. And you are still talking of 2023. PVC cars are found in heaps that was thrown inside the gutter. How foolish can you people be? You are still talking of 2023. Simon Ekpa has been warning, if you have food, buy food and begin to stockpile during the time when you sit at home. You are saying no. On that day you go out and they kill you. It is them that will kill you. We will not kill you. You will go and they will kill you. 14 young men were killed. Obi has not said anything. Soludo has not said anything. Chekwa Sokorie has not said anything. Oboniono has not said anything. Ohaneze have not said anything. Our boys were butchered, killed in cold blood. Nobody, Hope Uzodinma says that those guys were criminals. I sent them to kill them. DSS earlier on said it was not them. 14 young men, their evidences, they don't have guns. They went for a wedding. Our own, ordered, brought in Fulanis, kill our people. What do you think they are doing? Their program. When they offload that when they unload that 63,000 in our land, plus the ones that are there already, when they kill our men and kill our men and kill our men and decimate us and put fear in the lives of our boys, we'll keep quiet. What will they do? They will marry our women. One way to change a generation, carry their women and marry them, impregnate them, and they give birth to children. That's a different generation with different thinking. And before you know it, Igbo will be wiped out of the planet Earth. You will not see Igbo on the surface of the earth again, except those that are in diaspora. And a lot of stupid Igbos in diaspora are still saying they are not going home again. Now, America is good for them. I'm not part of that nonsense. Even if you are an American citizen, you are still a stranger. Ever I know. Regardless of our documents that we have, we are still strangers. God did not make any mistake in making you an Igbo man, making this man Yoruba, gave you your language, and your culture and custom. God didn't make any mistake. But when your own time came, you decided to jettison your culture and your custom to go to another man's land to stay and enjoy there. This America you are staying, people fought for it. They poured their blood. If they had done like these people who are obedient after articulating and become obedient, they wouldn't have gotten America. They stood like Biafrans and fought and got Biafra and got America. Just like the Jews stood for Israel and got Israel. Somalia fought. They got their land. South Sudan, you fought. South Sudan fought and got their land. You are cowards. That's why you cannot reason beyond what you will get. You want to reap what you sowed immediately. You don't want to sow it. Don't be deceived. We know the games of these people. Let them listen to Nnamdi Kanu, then we'll listen to him. Anything they're telling you, don't go about praying for them, wishing them well. They're evil people. It's because, oh, you Nagitubu, in the Europe, now this winter period, on after July, now by 4 August, Emala, August 4, the trees start shedding down their leaves. By September, the cold has started blowing. November, Oya Batago. And they know that without Russia giving them gas, they're in trouble. Russia might decide not to sell again. And that will kill Europe. So they are diverting their attention towards Nigeria. And by that way, trying to pacify Biafrans. So that your violence against inequality will no longer continue. Violence, I mean agitation. We are talking with our mouth. Biafrans don't kill people. Our sensitizing our people that elections shall not hold in 2023. They want it to douse down. And the moment it douses down, because our people in their foolishness are seeing a glimmer of hope, they pretend as if I know them. So I know these Igbos very well. Though they are intelligent people, but they don't have common sense. That when you dangle a carrot before them, they are going to go after it. They should forget what they passed through, what happened to them. God did not make mistakes in making Indians, Russians. Why would you leave your country and come to a man's country and remain there forever? Why? You lose your history, your identity. Yes, people migrate when there's oppression in their land. But after a time, they have to come back and rebuild their country. What do? We have to pull our resources together. To see to it that Biafra stands. No election in Biafra land 2023. By the way, I want to thank Biafra. My respect for the sit at home on Friday. That was a referendum conducted. We now know that Simon Ekpa is leading the pack. He is the spokesperson. And Biafrans are listening. They are true. God bless you. Thank God for Simon Ekpa for the way he has consistently moved with this thing, regardless of all the pressures. He has remained committed. He's remained focused. He's not moved or carried away. Thank God for Umuada and every Biafran people. I mean, when I talk Biafran, BNL and all others who are all part, we are all one. Thank God for you guys. Let the sit at home begin to increase. In Akwa Ibom, Cross River. I heard the other day, Nsima said, Cross River and Akwa Ibom has declared for Idu. Nsima cannot speak for Akwa Ibom mice or people from Cross River. He's talking for himself. They don't know him. You should go and sit down. When they run their program, 120 people. This one alone is just me. I'm Onyekwan Kambo. Mine is 146. She's bigger than that of Nsima, who has been on this program for a long time. For all the support he had. He's making noise. Don't mind him. Akwa Ibom, do the sit at home. God bless you. Cross River State, do it. Ikwacha, Bayelsa, be part of it. Delta State, they are there already. Be part of it. When that day reaches, no election in Biafra land, no election. Stay at home, they will not kill you. Don't go and vote, just stay in your house. They can never bring anybody to come and rule Biafra. Where you go? Enter. Make it try now. That's the point. So this thing that the European Union is doing, or United Nations is doing, don't just take it and start, jumping up. No. Still stand on your ground for referendum. Biafra must be free. When we are free, it is our land and our oil. They can come and we can negotiate with them how we are going to supply them gas. Because, to tell you the truth, in all fairness, no Biafra man would like the European people to die out of cold because there's no gas. Hence, our land is there. We are going to give them gas, but they'll pay for it. Yes, that's right. We're not going to give them free. It's business. But to make sure that they have gas, even if it means building a transatlantic pipe laid from Nigeria towards the west coast of Africa and going around to, going around to Britain or Europe, no problem. But it should be at our own terms. We negotiate. But if they are doing this thing to douse us down and then go and negotiate with Nigeria for gas, and say after all we gave you Nnamdi Kanu, you went for election. If Peter Obi fails tomorrow, of course they will not allow him pass. Fulanis will never allow that. They have told you several times. When you begin to protest, they will tell you, if you were truly a Biafran, you should have remained in the Biafran struggle. Why did you go for election? Now that you have gone and you have failed, you are coming back for Biafran struggle. You are not serious. Those people who are double-minded, they are not dependable. Forget about the education. It's rubbish. Biafrans, be resolute. It has nothing to do with Megawako. And one woman now, the other day, see, na family, their uncle, the father's elder, the husband's elder brother, didn't go to school. But whenever they are discussing anything in the kingdom, where they come from, she said that the king of the kingdom will not sit in council comfortably until that man comes. He didn't go to school, but the man has wisdom. So going to school has nothing to do with common sense. So Biafrans, remain resolute, remain steadfast. Stand with us, we are going to go. Yes. And Anthony Eze, thank you for what you answered that man. Thank you for, the man wrote me a letter. Justin wrote me a letter here. I didn't talk to him. Anthony Eze answered him. There are some people I don't need to talk to. This Justin, you see, the mother may have been, the guy could be a bastard. The father could have been a Muslim who impregnated the mother or married her. And then since things didn't work out, they came back home. And he's trained here. So the blood of Islam is still flowing. It could be a bastard. Or even the mother herself may have been born in the north. After the war, they carried the grandmother. Took the Emma, most of them, Sorundu, Guga, Makini, Atosha him, Eba, and Momo. Those bastard children came to Biafra land and they're talking nonsense. Thank you for answering that fool. An idiot. God bless you, Biafrans. Let's continue. Remain steadfast. Don't be moved. Continue with the Biafran struggle. Keep shouting, keep talking. In fact, increase the tempo for agitation now. And you heard Simon Ekpa. The direction he gave, the instruction he gave. All those people, he told you about the Bago people. You know what he has told you to do. You better comply, yo. Because they will just tell their headsmen, go and do this, they go and do it. They don't question their leaders. Why don't you go to the forest and fight yourself? They carry it on because they know their program and agenda. But our own, we don't have any program for our people. It's a personal program. Self, greed, that is what is killing us. So, I am telling you, Biafrans, continue in this agitation. Don't for once relax. And let me warn Nigerian people, one more time, I'm just giving you an information so that you don't say you were not told. Because the action you are putting up now is beginning to make some Biafrans in America here to have ideas that the best way by which they can secure Biafra is to have territorial ambition. That means if we're able to drive you away from Middle Belt, Kaduna. Those remaining parts up north there where you are staying, we have to take it away from you and drive you entirely out of this place. And those countries will form their different nations and their names. Then we are going to help them build their army. You won't stay again. But I'm not saying that is our intention. I'm saying that the feelers I'm getting from people here, they are telling us that you people, they are telling, one of them was telling me that you people are joking, you are not serious. That you can start by killing governors' brothers and sisters. That's what they were telling me. That they have removed their children from Biafra land, send them overseas. And they're killing our people. They are calling them to kill our people. There were 3 guys. They sat me down and were telling me, they were telling me personally that, listen, that you guys are talking too much. Why don't you give instructions? I told them, no, I will not do it. I'm not the leader. I'm not the leader. They said, okay, they are watching. So when they heard that, not even the Nnamdi Kanu missing in detention. No, before this one, they were telling me, this about 5 weeks ago, they told me, they said, any Igbo man that is killed, go after the governor, his brothers, his sisters. Look for where they are living, kill them. That's what they were saying. I'm telling you the truth. They told me. So there are many 1,000 Simon Eppers that are in Europe, in America, that are very, very angry, very, very angry, very, very angry. They even see Simon Eppers as a gentleman. Because they just believe that the issues of the day shall not be settled in roundtable conferences, but by blood and fire. Remember who said that? Otto von Bismarck, the German war general. Are you following me? So I'm not here to advocate that, but what I'm telling you is this. The way Simon Ekpa is going is good. Better listen to him and follow him. Even Simon Ekpa himself has told you that there are so many Simon Ekpas that are around that are very, very angry. He told you the truth. He told you the truth. Don't take your luck too far. God bless Biafra. God bless Nnamdi Kanu. God bless Autopilot worldwide. God bless Simon Ekpa. God bless Umada. God bless you, my viewers. Even those stupid, useless